Mr. Sam Omatseye, who is the chairman, Editorial Board of the Nation newspapers, is also a public affairs analyst. Thank you for coming on this morning.
It's my pleasure.
Well, this matter has been on for a while. We just had the reports which did show that two separate sittings went on when they resumed. You've followed all of this, and what do you think of what's going on?
What is going on is a throwback to the plague that has now encircled Nigerian politics, and that is the plague of presidential meddlesomeness, what you call stomach infrastructure, and cynical politics. And that's what has happened there.
How did presidential meddlesomeness come in here?
Well, you know, you discover that the case of Edo State is not an isolated matter when it comes to the problem between House of Assembly and the governor. We know what happened in Adamawa State. We know the internecine rumbles going on in Rivers State. And we also know that even in Nasarawa State, as we speak, there's still a great deal of dissension within the House of Assembly. So and all of this has been linked to Abuja and 2015. So we should not kid ourselves when we say that it's presidential meddlesomeness, because it is presidential meddlesomeness. And when I say stomach infrastructure, I mean that some people think that when they are not getting what they want from the governor, that what they need to do is to team up with their cohorts in Abuja so that they can destabilize the State House of Assembly, and if it's possible, they start impeachment proceedings. And if they cannot succeed in impeachment proceedings, at least they create enough hubbub in the state to make the state uncomfortable for the governor, and perhaps, in the optimistic way of politicians, create the atmosphere for inroad for the president in that state in the next political dispensation. So that's why I call it, political meddlesomeness. And to do all of this, some of them say we are not getting enough from Mr. Governor. And there's a lot of money in Abuja.
What specifically can be associated, or can you ascribe, that has happened there to validate what you say is presidential meddlesomeness? Well,
you can see that presidential meddlesomeness is a way of saying that the witch cried last night and the child cried this morning, and who does not know the connection? I mean, when in the case of Edo State, the whole thing started with primary around April and so on. And then somebody who was in APC, who called it a bona fide person of APC, didn't get what he wanted. And he said the primary was rigged. And then they did the primary again, and they lost profoundly. And suddenly he discovered that APC was no longer a safe place to be.
But have you been listening to the comments of some of the players that are both within the PDP and APC? Because, I mean, we had Pastor Isayama here the other time, and he spoke a lot about the governor hijacking the political structure and some of those things, and marginalizing some of the other people, and that the reason why this is going on is because some members, 4 of them, left the APC for the PDP, and then they decided to witch hunt them.
Well, the use of the word hijacking is a governor. How can a governor hijack what he already has control of? Well, I think that is what was that colorful politician in those days he used to call terminological inexactitude. You know, that big word that he used to use. KO. That's how you used to say. Because you cannot say governor, you cannot say that I've come to take over my own house. You know, you don't do that. I mean, when you are the governor of a state, you are the leader of your party. You cannot hijack your own party. So that itself is a way of clutching at straws.
But they say that they are witch hunting the 4 members who left the APC for the PDP. Why would they suspend them?
How did the 4 members leave? The circumstances of their leaving the APC for PDP should be analyzed first before you talk about why they were suspended. I mean, the old stories, as reporters, we knew what happened. That, these people felt disgruntled, and they believe that they have to create an alternative way. That's why I bring the issue of stomach infrastructure. If I'm not going to earn my living the way I want it, when I'm in this house, let me move to the other house. And then I'll have to create enough tension in this house so that I will become the man who is legitimate. So that's what I've done by creating 2 sessions, is to create a crisis of legitimacy. And when you create a crisis of legitimacy, you're looking for people who will be by you, just like Joshua said in the Bible. He said, "Who is on the Lord's side? It should come to my side." So that is the kind of politics that is going on now in Edo State. It's the politics of balkanization, and they are too small, too tiny to have that kind of force, unless they go back to the center, where they can get. I remember what happened in Adamawa, in Rivers. The same thing we have had. And when the governor is astute, like Amechi has been astute in playing his politics, then what they do is that they keep looking for new ways to try to turn things. Remember that they wanted just a minority, just like you have in Edo State. You had a minority trying one way or the other to go and start impeachment proceedings in the House. The governor had to personally go there and Rivers and say, "This cannot happen." It is the politics of impunity that we have in this country, where people do not understand that politics should be based on values. But now in Nigeria, politics is no longer based on values. It is a pursuit of resources through the agency of the grabbing of power. This is crude and barbaric politics going on.
The word out there is that, the APC is doing the same thing that they're accusing the PDP of, in the sense that now they're trying to suspend 4 members in the House because they moved from one party to the other. Because in the National Assembly also, while they moved from one party to the other, they ran to the court so that the court could stop any such thing as suspension. And now they're coming to do the same thing here.
Yes, let the 4 people in Edo, let them go to the court and let them resolve everything. Going to the court is the right thing to do. It is the rule of law we're talking about in this country. Let us follow law. If APC does the same thing and they do it crudely, the law should show that they have done it crudely. What is important is the rule of law. You see, we have individuals are important in politics, very good and great individuals. They have even helped to enrich politics and democracy in very great countries. Because in the United States, you have people like Reagan, you had FDR, you had Washington, Lincoln. You have so many of them who have done it. In England. You have people like Disraeli, you had Gladstone, you had even Thatcher, who, because of what they do, what they do is that they use their individual charisma to work for democracy without violating the law. They bring people together and try to get them together. But when you have a situation where individuals become obstacles in politics.
Which are the obstacles now? The ones that left to
they become obstacles. For instance, like Tommy Kimmy, for instance, he has helped now to, what do I call it now, to ossify the tension in Edo State.
Because he left
He has left
APC.
there now, and he says, suddenly understand there's a place called mainstream. So I want to bring Edo State to mainstream. What's mainstream? Mainstream is the people.
No, but isn't it what we see with both parties? When you have their members leave to the other party, where they leave to, they welcome them. But when they leave that party and go to the other one, and then they speak something. So
they
don't seem to be doing the same thing.
That's one of the things I condemn in Nigerian politics. Both parties. I mean, they have come to... That's all the parties, both parties have become receptacles of anything. What is better now is for the parties now to decide to separate the chaff from the wheat. Well, we can say that our politics is still young.
When you talk to politicians,